So here's the latest. Pete Hegseth, who a year ago was getting bounced from Fox News for showing up drunk and attacking women in his hotel room, and who is now the Secretary of Defense, well, he's also attacking and killing human beings indiscriminately. Today we learned that this guy, U.S. Navy Admiral Alvin Halsey, was forced to retire in October after Halsey expressed concerns about the legality of Trump's boat bombings down in the Caribbean. Wall Street Journal reported that Hegseth told the Admiral to step down after Halsey expressed concerns about the legality of lethal strikes on the alleged drug boats in the Caribbean. I say alleged because we don't fucking know.
That follow-up strike, killing survivors on September 2nd, may have constituted a war crime.
Hegseth told Halsey, "You're either on the team or you're not. When you get an order, you move out fast and don't ask questions." God, he's so macho. By the way, Halsey is an admiral with 30 years of experience in 3 wars and a dozen international crises. And Hegseth, he plays Call of Duty in his basement while masturbating to Steven Seagal posters.
It gives me no pleasure to say what I'm about to say because I worked with Pete Hegseth for 7 or 8 years at Fox News. This is an act of a war crime, ordering survivors who the law requires be rescued instead to be murdered. There's absolutely no legal basis for it. Everybody along the line who did it, from the Secretary of Defense to the Admiral to the people who actually pulled the trigger, should be prosecuted for a war crime for killing these 2 people.
Now that's Judge Napolitano, a conservative, and his comments prove what I've said all along. MAGA is not a conservative calling. It's a fascist, racist cabal of punks who wave their guns and Confederate flags because they failed at the very thing they claim to embrace, freedom. Because anyone who really believes that William F. Buckley shit will tell you there ain't no shortcuts. And while MAGA will say students seeking help from their student loans are freeloaders, they also have their own PPP loans excused by Trump. Or they're telling the poor to pull themselves up by their bootstraps while they cash their Social Security checks, or call out undocumented for using Medicare and Social Security, which they can't and don't, despite paying $90 billion a year into it.
The media is saying she got a, quote, Mar-a-Lago makeover, and it's driving liberals loco.
I sometimes forget how fucked up the reporting is on Fox News. Listen here as Jessica Tarlov tolerates Jesse Waters saying these men in the boats are terrorists.
That if there are people who are shipwrecked, which is what these 2 survivors were.
Survivors?
They survived the first strike.
Jessica. They're not survivors.
Okay.
They're victims.
You know,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's how the DOD manual says that you have to do it, that you have to take them, you should send a helicopter to get them out of there, and then you try them. Or international law also says that as well. You could play Roger Wicker talking about it, Senator Tom Tillis, Mike Turner. These are all Republicans saying it. So the narrative that this is about the left getting all hot and bothered about another hoax is absolutely ludicrous.
Can I just ask you one question?
No, you can't, actually. You already asked me a question. No, I insist
What
you
happens
stop.
if we hit a terrorist and the terrorist survives? We're supposed to send a helicopter to rescue him and then give him first aid?
We know that this isn't
Jessica,
a hoax
yes or
because
no?
the best case scenario is that Admiral Bradley, who they're trying to put all the blame on, is the one who authorized the second lethal strike that took out these people who, again, it was a violation of the law that they were killed. We also know that the U.S. doesn't always do this because there was another strike in the Caribbean back in September where a Colombian and an Ecuadorian person survived, and we repatriated them home. We didn't even take them to court here for the crimes that we knew that they'd committed. We sent them back to their home country. There is tons of reporting now. You want to call the Washington Post fake news, that's fine. The New York Times story, by the way, didn't exonerate them. We also have the Wall Street Journal saying that a DOD official says that Hegseth was the, quote, target engagement authority, so the guy in charge. We also know, writ large, that the story about this administration being focused on eradicating American society of drugs is absolute BS.
And the terrorist survives.
They aren't terrorists, you little twat. They're thousands of miles away from us. Who are they terrorizing?
And I will just end by saying, as President Trump always has our back, we always have the back of our commanders who are making decisions in difficult situations, and we do in this case and all these strikes. They're making judgment calls and ensuring that they defend the American people. They've done the right things. We'll keep doing that, and we have their backs, Mr. President.
Good job. As far as the attack is concerned, I still haven't gotten a lot of information because I rely on Pete. But to me, it was an attack. It wasn't 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes. Somebody asked me a question about the second strike. I didn't know about the second strike. I didn't know anything about people. I wasn't involved in it. I knew they took out a boat. But I would say this, they had a strike. I hear the gentleman that was in charge of that is extraordinary. He's an extraordinary person. I'll let Pete speak about him. but Pete was satisfied. Pete didn't know about second attack having to do with two people, and I guess Pete would have to speak to it.
It's really difficult to hide my contempt for Pete Hegseth, who is now killing people who have done nothing to the United States and cowardly attacking them from the skies with drones, and then killing anyone who survives with a second strike.
And ensuring that they defend the American people.
He doesn't know who they are or what they have in the boat, and these boats, they don't have enough fuel to reach the United States. He's so fucking typical of these chicken hawks and their $200 haircuts who can only get stiff when they're hurting others who can't defend themselves. He's not only committing war crimes, he is a fucking war crime who we should tie up and put on one of these boats. But that's not even the worst part. Hegseth is such a wimp, he can't even take the heat.
Well, I wasn't involved in it. I knew they took out a boat. But I would say this, they had a strike. I hear the gentleman that was in charge of that is extraordinary.
Both Trump and Hegseth have pushed the whole thing now on real soldiers, blaming them for following the orders that they gave. Again, these are war crimes. Fuck that war part. This is murder. Admiral Frank Bradley, head of Joint Special Operations Command at the time, told Congress that two people clinging to the wreckage didn't have a radio or other communication devices. That acknowledgement betrays Hegseth claims that the men were legitimate targets because they were supposedly calling for backup. This rationale was floated in Congress and on Fox News, aimed to rebut accusations that the strike amounted to a war crime. But under the Pentagon's own law of war manual, killing shipwrecked sailors is prohibited. You know this guy, Senator and former Captain Mark Kelly. He reminded the military they're legally obligated to follow the Constitution.
Senator Mark Kelly, like us, you all swore an oath. You can refuse illegal orders.
Well, upon hearing that, you would have thought someone told Trump he couldn't date 13-year-olds.
It's not fair.
But Kelly and his patriotic crew did what every chicken shit Republican should be doing, and that's calling this out. We are killing people indiscriminately. Next thing you know, Trump will have people attacking the Capitol.
We want it back! Fuck these Democrats! Where's the...
And for the record, Trump's lies about how many people have died from narcotics.
Illegal are the drugs that were on the boat and the drugs that are being sent into our country. And the fact that 300 million people died last year from drugs, that's what's illegal.
Now, that lunacy aside, why is Trump so concerned with the 100,000 people who died last year from illegal drugs, the vast majority of which came from China, Colombia, and not Venezuela? But Trump and Republicans don't seem to care about the 600,000 deaths annually from alcohol and tobacco. Where are the airstrikes on Marlboro and Budweiser? It wouldn't have anything to do with the tone of their skin, would it? Trump is concurrently attacking Somalis in the Minneapolis area with lies about crime and welfare and bullshit.
Somalians ripped off that state for billions of dollars. Billions. Every year. Billions of dollars. And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you.
Hegseth and Trump, they are murderous vermin who deserve the same fate as those they're killing. They are the real terrorists, along with those in the Republican Party who don't stop this, who are complicit in their silence. You see, Trump doesn't care about Hegseth's lack of character any more than he cares about RFK's. Trump surrounds himself with weak, pitiful men who wouldn't know a spine if they had one, because they don't.
Hey, Trump, fuck you.
Goddamn right.
Things happen.
Go fuck yourself.
I kept my underwear on.
I'm very excited about that.
They know how to get to me.
Who are you talking to?
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donna.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.